Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was starting to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all the other places people like to listen? How do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you can get paid to podcast. The reasons I use Anchor is to distribute my podcast to Apple and Spotify and to get paid. So if you always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fn/start. That's anchor.fn/start to join me in the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fn/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Welcome to Positive Minds Only Podcast. This is your host, Kenneth or Kenny, and we back with another episode.
It's like everybody go to the yard in the grade or behind bars since a young age, so many scars. Where I'm from, it's so hard. It's like everybody go to the yard in the grave or behind bars since a young age, so many scars. Southeast, NC trees, unincorporated Black Town PG, where my folks been there since invasions of enemies. There's complications, can't call them enemies. I'm black and hopeless, I see so many me's. Loyal to the soil, we don't see no clemency. Spoiled till they boil. Guidance, education, leadership is the remedy. Dope in aluminum foil. Misguided, miseducated, blind tendencies. Snakes coil, where we plant seeds. Want the tools of reaping, we finna see. All seeds don't get apples, don't come from Johnny Appleseed. Some seeds of greed and envy can't creep in between manifested dreams and be what bust the seams. What's on social media is what's in these teens. Old folks too, and everybody in between. Vocal leadership behind action must be seen, must be heard. Time to stop lacking. It's a crop, we the cream. Every word, time for proaction. Eagles flock, American dream. You ain't heard until it's for everyone, then America's king. That's absurd, it's oblivion. It ain't what it seems. Perception of reality, but we living in is somewhere in between. Man, where I'm from, it's so hard. It's like everybody go to the yard in the grave or behind bars since a young age. So it's called. What's up, my dog?
What's up with you, bro? Now, y'all been listening to me from the beginning. Like, y'all should already know who this was. JamesOn, how you been doing, brother?
Man, I've been growing and getting better, bro, and loving life and understanding of who I am.
Hey, and that's what journey we both been on. Like, since from the first time we've been talking, it's all about been about growth, been about evolving, and continue to get better and better. And like, shit, we here now. Like,
yeah, man, it's one way to life. Get better, get worse. Whether you accept it or not, but that's it. And we live off expectations. Everybody do.
Nothing but truth. And most people, it's sad to say it, but like 90%, 95% of the world, they like going the wrong way and they don't even realize it. But to those that 10% that do know, like, it's up to us to help guide the 90% or whatever percentage it is.
But I tell you, but 100% live to expectations.
We all do.
Because like either if you don't expect something, bro, then that's what you get, what you don't expect. If you expect something, then that's what you get, what you expect. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, somebody ain't got nothing, they just don't expect, like, bro, I ain't got this, I ain't got some kind of lack of expectation. And so I think set high expectations and understand that, God promised us, whatever we ask, we shall receive. So you gonna get what you expect, whether you don't expect it or not.
So why you think people don't never think they can have the goodness though? Like, even though I know, like, a lot of times when we come from poverty, we see like, dang, ain't nothing around us. Our parents ain't got nothing. Nobody else ain't got nothing.
They don't know who they are. They don't know who they are.
That's true. That's 100% true.
God is. They know the secular God. They know the God that's beyond them. The God that they think that above them. They don't know the God within them. Not atheists, but
You 100% true.
His son, us always, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, that right there, when people don't understand that, they don't get it. And so, because if you understand that, you know God promises, you know what I mean?
And that's how I look at it. Like, even when I do read the Bible to this day, like, I put myself in a position of, like, and not to say from no ego thing, but God, I see myself as my own individual God. Because if I create my reality, then that means I'm the creator of all things. Like, to a sense, and this is not to say of physicals, like, I'm the creator of everything, but, like, the goodness and the badness, it comes from me. It comes from my mind. Because everything...
Why is it bad? What's bad?
You're right. Nothing...
So it's just a moment. You know what I'm saying?
And
so, like, I really understand what you're saying right there, because it's everything is God, you know. And every day in life, man, what I've grew and realized is like everything we do is a miracle. We manifest miracles. You manifest, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's in the Bible. They even say God Himself is makers of themselves. So, like, you a maker, not creator. Creator's God. You know what I'm saying? You makers of yourself. So He created you, but you make what you want. So everybody we see is ourselves pushed out. And I really believe that, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times we get lost in understanding that like everything in life is a blessing. And if you can't see that blessing in time, it's just a blessing in disguise, you know what I'm saying? So like what I mean by that is it has to be a blessing because God is a blessing and God is all. It's in Isaiah, you know, it says mind of speech. So therefore your mind, when you speak of God, He created all this, and what you perceive and see, whatever is God. So like if He is a whole and so then God's a blessing. So that means blessing is God, so a blessing. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what
you go through, it's a blessing.
It's a blessing.
And what's crazy today, like I shared a post like that I said a couple years ago, but I reshared it today through the memories, and it was saying the exact same thing. Like everything that I went through, whether it was bad or good, or whether I knew what I was going through or not, it always was a blessing. Here's what I exactly said. I said every negative thing I experienced was a blessing in disguise. So, like, that's just the short version.
We call it a silver lining. You know what I'm saying? But like, once again, when I say when you surrender and know everything's God, there's no bad. Like,
there's like, no negative thing.
There's no bad. No, there's no bad.
And when you look back, 2020 vision.
It's no evil, no bad. Like, what? Like, you tell me, like, no. Well, it's creators of bad. It's creators evil. You understand me? So, like, to me, to have a like clear mind, a way of like every day having this program. What do I do? Like, man, like this weekend, Pride weekend, man. The kids, I went to Dallas and second place this weekend. Get second place in this program. I went this little group, but the program just like playing up, not playing age, and like now I understand this things I did in my life and what I believe and what I say, and I give this perfect example, man. Like, because we had the freedom of thoughts. I had a relative, you know, and text me something. I know I didn't hear it. I felt the energy off of it. And I know he messaged like, the nigga gonna tell me 3 long ass paragraphs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I didn't answer it, not on like disrespect. Like, I just erased it because I viewed the text message as a thought. Because in thought, you know, you reading the text in your mind, you just reading it and think about something and then text it out. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. So I was like, you know what? Erase this. But like, I erased it. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. The next morning, I woke up with a long text message from someone that was actually, it was complete opposite. And it's like, wow, like I chose to not digest none of that and wait for something good or know something good to come, expect something good to come. And my expectations got met. And in the morning, like, I woke up with a long text from somebody opposite. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I know people back home have turmoil, but I know excuses. But for me, as a person, like, I don't know, like, I got that. I'm a scorer, so I got scoring mentality. I'm gonna put buckets on you, like, with no remorse, and like, and as I live life, and like, they say I don't have remorse. That's equivalent to saying I do have remorse, because I do have remorse. You know what I'm saying? So what you say you are not, you are.
Yeah.
What you say you are, you are. You know what I'm saying? So like, I get that, and at the same time, I understand it don't mean that I'm this same exact thing with everything, but I am what I am. And I don't know. I'm a group man. Through my life a whole lot, and you know, and I'm trying to please people, bro. Like, why?
Exactly.
Like, you know, please God
and please yourself at the end of the day. Like, cause when we live this life, we, like you said, we always try to please our parents. We try to please our friends, our siblings, and we even try to please people we don't know.
But once you realize the focus is not about everybody else, it's about how you feel about yourself. Because once you start dealing with yourself internally, then the world is going to deal with you how you deal with yourself. I mean, they always do.
It's how it is, bro. I'm going to break it simple. Wendell Ward said this. He was like, you get what you want or you take what you get. But the way to get what you want, you have to expect it. Because if you don't expect it, you get what you expect. Think about that. He said that you get what you want or you take what you get. But the way to get what you want, you have to expect it. Because if you don't expect it, you get what you expect. Because you don't expect it, so you don't get what you don't expect. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, man, the Bible lets you know all prayers are answered. And the only way to change anything is really to change your mind.
Yep.
And so that right there has been so key to me, understanding and growing and wanting to. I know if I work on myself every day, bro, whether nobody see it or not, it's just like if you do 100 push-ups every day, in a year, people can tell the difference.
Yep, 100%.
But you can tell the difference. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't really worry. I don't stress. I feel nothing. I just believe strictly in God. I know that, I can get better every day and understand, I got people like you, like, my homeboys, I rather excuse my voice too, man.
Oh, you good.
2, 3, 4, I had 2nd grade. I had 4 teams until me right here. So it's about 20 games. I don't know, man. That was fun, though. I had a lot of coaching because my voice was gone. But the same thing, though, getting back to what I was saying, we understand our mind, how strong it is. Whatever you say, your wish is going to be granted. You know what I'm saying? Mindset can be erased as quick as it can be said. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is, if your mindset off right now, you can erase that mindset. You can change it, to know who you are and what you are. Because there's only one power in life, bro. That's God. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, when we read scripture, I know, you know what I'm saying, in the Bible, it says something God said, He said, draw near to me. You know what I'm saying? I draw near to you. Resist evil, and you resist evil by drawing near to God. You feel me? But by Him just saying, draw near to me, I draw near to you. So basically, you resist evil. You know what I'm saying? You resist God by drawing near to God. When you resist evil by drawing near to God. So when you resist evil, you just got to draw the doubts, the fears, and you know what I'm saying, all of that. You know what I mean?
And that's what people don't realize what evil is. It ain't about stealing, murder. It's about the doubts and the fears of just holding yourself back, the conforming to just the society or what society wants for you. So,
how about this right here? It's even cold cut, dog. People, and I have been myself, addicts of our problems. You know what I'm saying? It's the addiction to your problem. Because why does it keep happening? Why do they keep getting high? Why do you have a problem? You're addicted to it.
Yeah.
You're addicted to problems. So to break the addiction to problems, it's these thoughts come even when the most, next time anybody feels the most disrespected or the most anything change it. It's or whatever you can change it and then go about it, you wow, it's so different. You have that control, bro.
And like you said earlier, with the text message, how you in response to that first one, but you expected something good and the next day it happened, if you
the same person, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So once you switch your thought, because I'm pretty sure you could have responded in a different form of fashion, but you changed your.
Why not just? Because I don't know. I do know my balance of chemically, but I don't know how emotionally I take it at the time, bro. So it's why not ignore and don't acknowledge and. You know what I'm saying? And just move on and don't fuck it.
Exactly, because you said it.
Bro, I really don't give a fuck, bro. It's crazy. I give a fuck, but I don't give a fuck about things, saying whatever. I just walk a different light and saying music shit. I love music, but I don't like the club and bang. I like club and all bro. I would do music and shit, bro. I do music that shit MTV used to do with Jay-Z. Jay-Z used to open. I'm not open mic, but I don't know what it was. Is it Blueprint and all that?
Oh yeah, I watched that before.
Well, I would do that type of shit. I do a concert like mine. I'm not trying to have no club bangers or no. That's you know what I'm saying? Because I know now I had like 20 people tell me, man, your music touched me and it changed me. And it's not even, it was first poetry. And it's just like, it's not the music, it's my truth. You feel me? Like the say, I was feeling like, you know what, he told me to spin it again. Like, it's the song I've been singing, you know what I'm saying? But I can tell you know that where I'm from, it's so hard. It's like, everybody go to the yard. You know, where I'm from, you know what I'm saying? It's hard. Everybody go to the yard. Like, in the gray yard or behind bars. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, since a young age, man, I had so many scars. And then just to even think about, like, what I'm putting into the music, bro, like I said, I'm from the Southeast, NC Trees, unincorporated Black Town, PG, so I'm saying, from the Southeast part of North Carolina, you know what I'm saying, no North Carolina trees, no hills, no curve, a Black Town, people don't know about it, so it's got to be a Black farms out by, whatever, you know what I'm saying, NC, but my folks been there since invasions and frenemies, so, like, I'm saying, like, invaded, my folks been there since, like, people that was there when it was invaded or whatever, like Europeans or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's like I said, this complications can't call it enemies because we interbred. Interbred. Like, motherfucker, your cousins, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm kin to royalty. Like, niggas be like on that shit, like, well, who your African ancestry? Alright, you wanna know, I don't know my African ancestry, but, you know, master them, whatever, the slave, motherfucker, I don't know what fucking them, you know what I'm saying, whatever. We know who his motherfucking granddad is, and so, you know, that part we know, you know what I'm saying? So, what about that part? Because a lot of people get raped, and everybody's white Africa. What about the people that got raped and their, you know what I'm saying, ancestry? So, like, I stopped living that past life like that, bro. Like, just, I focus but not neglect. But at the same time, I try to learn and respect everybody, you know what I'm saying? But I let him know what my focus and my goal is. You know, it's just better to serve. So sometimes we get lost in the sauce, my nigga, like on some history, and you be so lost, you forgot that, nigga, you are a creator, so you're creating history right now.
Exactly.
You know, read it, for and repeat it. So, but, or if you do, you know, but at the same time, I'm like, don't be harping and stuck on it. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
It was something you said, like, about the family and, like, how, like, we trace it back to, like, not the ancestors in Egypt, or Africa, but, like, just from, like, slave masters. And I was thinking about this. I'm like, when it came down to family reunions, we used to always go to them every year. And I would hear this one phrase a lot. Dang, is that my cousin? But when I think about it, family reunions is based off, like, the slave owner's last name. It's not based off, like, where your roots come from. Yeah, like, it ain't about where your roots come from, so...
We got slave owner stuff and all that, but, like, that right there, bro, like, I honestly, like being out here where I'm at, man, like, I just been, God, was studying shit, bro, like, just studying everything. It just made me just like fall to like a, you know, guru of some sort, just learn about the past, and like from Carolina to here to Oklahoma, just about like say slavery and all that, just like crops or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, like people always say get over this, you know, for so long. You know, I know it's a trail, it's right here, but then this is what I say. It's the mind. It's the mind, bro. It's the mind, like, I'm not neglecting history, but it's the mind. Like, that regardless of what society say, if the mind said it's gonna do it, bro. And you realize that these people that equipment like, oh, this ain't the Bible, but this person ain't slave on a slave. It ain't about the slave on it's Christ in you. You know what I'm saying? The slave is your body. The husband is the mind. The body is the wife. You know what I'm saying? It's the woman of flesh, not blessed. Like, you know, if you don't honor your mind, you know what I'm saying? If you don't honor it, you lose your mind. You know what I'm saying? If you lose it, everybody you don't honor it, somebody sees they can't walk and talk because they can't control their bodies. They ain't honoring it. Not honoring their wife, they're not honoring their slave owners. So, like, interpretations of this shit, man, has really distorted. Like, I really believe, like, the true evaluation of what should be evaluated, and then understanding it's divine and not separate, it's within. And so I don't think, religion all the time, because I know my grandma told me that I was special, and I don't know how I know scripture so much, so I just keep reading and go more. I mean, I just believe in the word of God. I know the kingdom word. And so for me, knowing this cancel culture, this sensitive area, like, it's crazy because, like, maybe God just seasoned me because, like, bro, regardless, I'm going to always be me. You know what I'm saying? And, like, but that's not saying, like, I'm going to always have the same reactions that I always had, you know what I'm saying? Because this weekend, referee was trying me and said some folks, you know, and I was talking to him respectfully, called me tech on there. I was like, sir, I'm trying to ask a question. Be like, I told the lady, I was like, I ain't like this. So I was like, it's my coach's game because I felt disrespect. Man, tell me to be quiet. He's like, turning my face. I was like, I'm gonna smack this motherfucker. I'm gonna do that shit. She's like, oh, man, it's a really what the family wants to play this and tell you. I'm like, man, it's my, nah, sit down and pray. And like, I felt a sense of my grandma, my mama. Like, after the game, though, by me changing my mind, it was like, I feel approached him. I don't know. I changed my mind. So I was like, the kids, they play hard, blah, 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 whatever. He came and said, hey, James, man, I'm sorry, man. I'm at her sale. I misunderstood you, man. Like, I love you and these kids, man. You know, great job, this program, man. Keep doing great stuff, man. Like I thank you, man. I apologize to you if I wasn't clear. You got a misunderstanding. I just know being humble. He's like, nah, man, give me a hug, man, hug. But it's the result of me changing my mind.
Exactly. And that's like, it's the second time you said something like, and it came and resulted to like a positive result. And then like, most of the time people would snap off. Most of the time, like, people would follow that first instance of, oh, I feel disrespect, or like something ain't going my way. And like, they ruin the whole, what could happen. They ruin the whole moment where things could be worked out or talked about in a respectful way by just snapping off in that one instant.
And that's what God said, would you respect? Like, I expected. I said that, like, man, I bust my ass in this. I just finished this five. They have basketball season in a couple months. So I get stars, I do this shit for real. I bust my ass. You know, the game look on. They don't respect me. Like, they know where the hell I ain't cheating nobody. I'm saying to myself, respect. I ain't say he better give me respect. I deserve respect. You know, I really truly believe I deserve respect because of what I do. I'm giving the players I've taken and created this monster, bro. That's crazy. The same players that nobody wanted to reach and become stars. And like the training wheel desire. It's like, I'm saying that, and after the game he approached me. It's because, like, this right here, I tell my kids, like, have you ever like did some shit and I was like, y'all knew what they was about to say, like, they knew exactly what I was about to say. I was about to say, whatever y'all said in your mind, you just knew exactly what I was going to say. Like, yeah. I said, nah. Yeah, you knew what I was saying. You created what I was going to say.
Bro, I tell my wife this.
So hard, you made it. Y'all understand? Y'all come in and say something over your head, and I understand it. You create your environment. You create all of us. Like, we all perfect. Like, and they look at me like, this nigga crazy.
I was telling my wife that, like, I was the same exact thing. She had said something. I'm like, did you know that was gonna happen, or like? But the same thing, I'm like, you created it by just saying that was gonna happen. I'm like, you don't know how powerful you is. You don't know that you create your own reality, that you think it's just a pattern that happens repeatedly, so you already know it's gonna happen. But in reality, you trained your mind to think that certain way, but you can think it any way possible, but you choose to believe it because of a certain.
You can change it anyway.
Yeah,
and you be careful with like writing it down and saying it. You feel me? Like, them the curse, like, you think whatever, but like, if you make that thing toward to a speech and to an action, that don't come action or speech, it's like, you got to suffer consequences. It wasn't really bad. So, like, I really think a person like me and you, man, like, once we, I don't know, we need to get like a podcast together, man, and like, and do it our way, not controversial. Not like, we say it drip, but I want something more catchy, you know what I'm saying? Well, drip type though. Your podcast, whatever, on it, but just, and like, you know, and just be who we are, you know what I'm saying? Try to help people. Like, that's all we can do, bro. And just, you know, we get some big names, that's what motherfuckers want to play parts of the game. But at the end of the day, though, we talking big game.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? These want big names, man. We talking big game, man. You feel me?
Hey, that might, I ain't never heard of the Big Game podcast. Like, that might be the name right there.
Yeah, big what?
The Big Game podcast.
And it's crazy, though. I was thinking, my good friend, Bo Henson, he's called me Big Game James. So, like, you know, that's crazy. Like, Big Game James. Right, God, but Big Game, be hard. Yeah, your niggas big game, big old game.
Exactly. I mean, we ain't even talking sports. We talking about, like, just game for life.
No, we ain't saying we ain't doing. We saying we are doing. We talking everything.
Exactly.
We talking life, because I used to be ashamed to be like, you a basketball player. Like, you know what? Until I realized what a basketball player is, I'm very intelligent. I'm very, so I can't be social. You know what I'm saying? I'm educated. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had different crafts, like farm, plant there, like, that's what basketball players, that motherfucker bad, then they more than shoot hoop. So, like, I started doubting myself, saying what I am, not what I am not.
And now, this, I want to talk about something now, like, now you talking about basketball, like, how you feel now, like, the NCAA is allowing players to get paid, and knowing that you played in the games, but you're not getting no money from it.
Yo, what's the way to go, bro? I want to stay out of it. I'm going to tell you what I think.
Hey, we want to hear it, bro. We want to hear it.
Check me out. I'm going to start from scratch. I came back from playing swim like 2013. What's on the leg? They owed me 165 bands. It's sick on the scene when I was probably more than I'm paying the for like 200 bands. They owed me. It kind of is my life, bro. I ain't talking about that in all, but it's just an excuse. I created it. I said they won't play me in my mind. I said I won't get it. Like, I did that shit, so I'm accountable for my thoughts. But, like, you know, I had a letter in the mail from, like, these stories from, like, Ed O'Bannon. The O'Bannon twins or something. They, like, these twins in Cali that, like, bro, the back of the same, you know, because I was, my likeness and my likeness was completely split. Like, on the game, NCAA, what season I was from North Carolina, you know what I'm saying? Headband, 124. And while this issue, like, it's like, that was like basically, I'll be smiling and stuff like, but I'm like, man, I'm a loyal dude. I call this a home state. Coach Dick, James Dick, he was on staff, and I was up there, you know, say he came to my house. Him and Coach Sean said, recruit me. That's all the shit, but long story short, like Coach, I don't know what this is, man, trying to hurt y'all, I don't know what's going on, And he has information with, I don't know what's in the league. I got a cease and destroy the board, contract, pro bono, all this board, like, you know, saying, like, okay, well, now, it's O'Bannon that had wanted shit else came out, and then it just kind of hit me, like, bro, maybe I opened my mouth too soon, maybe I should see what's going on, because at the end of the day, it's more than just, you know, it's no, like, basketball, and I'm going to get into detail. Like, number one, like, it's like, okay, like how, like, you take my headband thing, everything about everybody headbands. No, but you want it. The first player on the whole state by headband, college basketball, they ain't allowed it. So against this, it was a loud belt line. I was in whatever. Like, I don't want headbands since 7th grade. I was known for headbands. I was known for sorry. Long story short, we got, they got me number 24 from North Carolina, 6'3", whatever. It's like, it's my likeness. So I'm understand the history of headband. That's what North Carolina probably stole my likeness. So I think, like, and other players stole the exact likeness too. Like, maybe I've been able to many of us. So the ones that lead us like this, like, they don't, like, you know, drop it off the body equally, like, real talk. And so then, like, so that's number one, bro. Like, that little shit is like, okay. Wife was like, you know, that free money, like, free money, I'm making my money, my money. You know what I'm saying? Because there's things like I knocked out in this county. During my time in college, I didn't want to New Jersey, but I was in, little brother, LeBron, I was like, I didn't want to New Jersey, like, all the years out in this county, shit's not so about it. Alright, but beyond that, I mean, Oklahoma State, it was a church thing, so we said James on fire. I couldn't find them motherfuckers. Like, calling James on fire. I had the shirts called James on fire. And the shirts called, like, James.
Oh, so that was making bread. Like, it's so much money, like, being made off.
Bro, they sold this shirt somewhere, like, on, like, campus, like, bro, right there at student school. Like, this was crazy, like, the James on fire. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, with my bread.
That's why I'd be asking.
You know what? I guarantee you, like, stats and data, taxes. If you look at Oklahoma in 2004 and like 5, we started my freshman year. Look at the headband sales in the state. Look at the headband sales in Stillwater. Look at the headband sales, period. Like, they say no crime, whatever, where we at. Because, like, I was with him in high school. And I told Hey Sunday, I was like, man, there's 3 things I want to come in. With Sean and James, I want a headband, number 24, and braids. I had the best GPA. I did. I got high GPA every semester. So it's like, okay, like, you look back at all this, you know, telling you about, like, where you realize, like, damn, bro, right. He started this in the whole state for Tulsa University, or OU, like, what's for him? Niggas are right here, man. Like, Eventually later came by, but it's like nah, I'm being who I am. It's an artistic way of someone expressing myself. So like that right there, they check those stats. I guarantee you, headband stuff's going crazy, bro.
Yeah. I'm already knowing. It's like I'm already knowing.
I'm like, so like that's what I'm saying, like, bro, like that be honest, man. I love Oklahoma State. Love any son, love school, I love everything. But you know, you a hater, you're not reasonable if you can't say I ain't going no chop. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, I'm on chop, bro. Like not chop I want for free. I'm on some bread. And so I was like, but you know, I feel like the truth, you know, I feel like I don't know, I think I do so much good and God just kept me, man. I don't fear not getting what I want. Like I'm old time in the half right now. I feel like I'm finna get some big time because like God just, you know, He here, you know, like I said, I bought my house, I get money good. I'm talking about them, you know, take a charter flight chop, you feel me?
Yeah.
Like, but if I want to, I might get an RV and ride across the country. I'm just thankful that God has given me an opportunity to, you know, cleanse myself.
And not only cleanse yourself, but to find yourself, because like a lot of people still like been in your shoes and they never recover. Like they still holding on to like things that they.
But you know what? That's why I think also separate too, Ken, because niggas ain't been in my shoes. Like I don't know.
True.
One person in the world named James. I know JamesOn. I know James vocabulary. I'm the only person I know the English name that nobody in the world got the way it's spelled. Like LeBron is too. LeBron's my name. You ain't allowed LeBron. But I know my name is a name that I've never seen ever with the capital like ever. Like I know that. Like it's like damn. Like it's like okay, it's crazy. I also know that like many people get offers of scholarship at the University of North Carolina. He was a freshman. My story is like unique. I'm folks trying to like water it down, bro. I mean, I always been a whole rap thing. Like I just have this like this cult following. That's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but why depend on others? Like, you know what I'm saying? God gives me everything I need.
For sure, and like that works for both of us. So I know, like I can definitely agree with you on that. Even though like people think I don't believe in God, it's like nah.
Well, I know you do. That's a cap.
Yeah, they just my understanding of who God is like it goes with.
He's not secular. Go dig up Jesus' grave. He's secular.
Exactly.
Go dig up Joseph, whoever married. He's secular.
Exactly. So, but I don't even argue with people. I don't even I don't even try to explain myself anymore because I used to. Like I used to feel like I had to prove myself. Exactly. And it was actually to family who felt like that, like, and then probably a couple people I grew up with.
This, bro. You gotta realize this, though. Everything's a testing. Everything's a trial. Everything's a miracle. Everything is everything. Exactly. It sounds like crazy how I talk to them, but I'm so before I don't have this game. I said I'm reading my notes. I say I come in here, like I just from my jaw pains and I fix. I don't know. So I be in my deep meditation, bro. But like I was saying. It is what it is. Everything is everything. Whatever you say, they are, bro. And like, I think the more we choose to be selective in what we allow to be receptive, you know what I'm saying, and digestive in our body, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna receive or digest that shit. I'm stiff on
exactly. Because if you don't stiff arm, if you accept what other people are saying to you, like that's just gonna brainwash you. That's just gonna make you believe what they saying is true at the end of the day. Like so, me, I never subscribe to what nobody said about me. I just hear what they saying. I'm like, oh, note it, and then I'll like just go prove you wrong later. But I'm not gonna intentionally try to prove nobody wrong. My actions and the way I move is just it proves itself. So shit.
Man, that's beautiful. Like, you know, cause like I say, like we say we ain't gonna do something, we end up doing it. Like, yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to prove it wrong, but you end up proving wrong. Because of what you see what I'm saying? Like, what you are not, but you are. So you say, I ain't trying to prove nobody wrong, but you know, basically saying that if I do what I do, it's gonna prove wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's ways about saying what we do, and like it's like we curse ourselves and we hurt ourselves, and then we bless ourselves and we
curse ourselves.
Also, you know what I'm saying? So like, how do you have a healthy conversation with yourself? How do you allow positive thoughts to manifest? You know what I'm saying?
You said it earlier though.
Disruptions.
Meditation.
You said what, bro?
Meditation, like when you sit with your...
But that's called the quiet place.
Yep.
No influences, but the Father and the Son.
Most people don't like that quiet place, though. I'm realizing, like, during this whole 2020, people was complaining about, like, being in the house with themselves. I'm like, it's just, like, it's a problem. Like, I didn't know there was a problem. Like, people didn't want to be with themselves. And I guess it's because they don't truly like what they created for their reality, and they having to understand, like, damn.
I bet you it was kind of growth, whether it was negative or positive. It was growth through that.
It was. I seen it as growth. Like, shit. I see more people having, like, more spiritual awakenings in 2020. So I'm like, hey, it's working whether people want it to or not. Like, whether they like the results or not, if they like what they see in the mirror or not. Like, it's only for your growth. It's only to help you to get to a better place. So a lot of times people see it as a negative thing, but that's because they going through it in the moment. Like, when you look back on it,
they see it as, though. You feel me? So, like, if it's negative, you gotta be a positive. You gotta be a positive because, like, we know this right here that, like I said, we're makers of our world. So we make these circumstances. We create these circumstances. We allow these circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you make them, you can make them not. I just really believe in, like, knowing that, like, man, everything is capable to be turned around or changed. Everything is capable to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you just gotta know where you are. Basketball, same time, scoring situation. In life, it's the same thing. You would say same thing. It's almost, but you would say different. Like, you would say time, school, situation. You would say situation, but time and what's going on.
For sure. And it's good, like, how I like to not to compare myself to, like, I mean, basketball, because I do love basketball to a sense, even though I'm not into it. Like, I do compare myself, like, just fourth quarter, like, knowing the game ain't ever over until the last quarter. Like, I like to live myself. I mean, I like to live with the mindset, like, it ain't never over. Even if I'm going through something I seem as negative, I'm like, this is not the last, like, this is not the end. Like, so
I'm going to tell you, so as being a hooper, too, you know what I'm saying? Like, mindset's confident. Say, what's it even, like, like, you know, like I said, for you, could just be better with it, but, like mindset, I go with, like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody that went with fourth quarter, well, just skip that, and you know that, it says right here. Every play is a game-winning play. Every play is a chance to play. So you make 20 game-winning plays, like, throughout the course of a game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just becomes contagious for game-winning plays. Make game-winning plays. Like,
hey, that's putting me on to something. I'm looking for my pen so I can write that down right now. Like, no, it's all about the perception. Like, if you said, if you make 20 game-winning plays, you bound to win the game. Like, if you not focused on, like, just the whole game entirely, and you focus on the present moment, making the best play in the present moment every time, like, you will always win, like, no matter what. Yep. Like, and no matter what the life throws at you, and no matter if who you guarding is great on offense, you still, if you make your best play, if you do your best every single time, like, it's gonna eventually work out for you. Like,
that's why I tell myself, man, give your all. A great attitude and just do what you do. I said the results will balance out themselves. It's gonna be in your favor.
That's true. That's true. I wish I played basketball more, like, so I could be like, yeah, but like, from a fan's perspective, like, what you think about the finals? Like, I know you and CP3 got a relationship. Like, how you feel right now?
Man, I pray win, bro. I was wanting to win, man, because, like, think about Chris Paul, bro. That, like, regardless of whatever, you know, we don't hear, like, I can't say, like, disagree, because, like, the niggas just gonna disagree and go, so he's doing things big, man, but, like, this is about Chris, probably in NBA history, bro, like, he has created more pros than any pro ever in the history of the NBA, because he had his program, bro, like his youth program, bro, like, even though, like, you know, he playing and he come to the game and do stuff with him, but, like, he used my old AU coach, Coach Sheldon, which I know his number right now, like, you know, he probably answered the phone, was crazy. But, like, I know nothing about heart. You know, since I always asked, Star 13 was my AU coach. Chris is our rivals. He, like, basically wanted his program. And Chris got middle school combines. He got, like, he created all these pros, man. Like, he's helped, like, create pros. And, like, I just think he deserves it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just think for the game, he just deserves it. But, like, in my opinion, and no matter what he just deserves, he's created so many pros. Like, Kobe White, the dude broke my record in high school. Like, he just He deserved me. I think it's his time.
And they don't talk about that. Like, they don't, the media or whatever never talks about like what the person does behind the scenes. Like, cause me, like I said, I'm a casual fan, but I would have never. I mean, of course, you know, people got basketball camps, but you don't know to what effect like it's having an impact on like those that's coming up. And like when you saying like he creating a bunch of pros, like that's just showing
so,
like.
Yeah, you know, so what that mean then? What that mean in another sense? He's securing the bags for families, bro. He like plug, nigga. Like he taking families, like, you know what I'm saying? He's coming to for life, bro. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, how many of you like, you know, and then he just, like, I was back there, man, like, my hands on my ears, my head, like, I just think, like, cause, like, yeah, I was like, I say this is on record, I was more talented than Chris. I was more quicker, faster, jump higher, shoot better, all that, whatever. I was better. I'm young, nigga. Like, but what he had was a stable daddy. Like, my daddy, bless his heart, a great man. You know, so he didn't time, he was a stable man there, but, like, he was like, I say stable, like he was in the house, but like just his presence is like, you know, things he chose to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? As a, you know, as a young man, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all young now, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, like, you know, Chris Daly was the opposite, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was, I don't know, like, that's important, man. That's father, like, so me being for my kids, man, seeing what was not working, but it's like, it's important. You know what I'm saying? It's very important, like, to be able to like correct things and be accountable. I thought it was this way. Shit, it was this way. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You know, it's crazy. I think about that a lot. Like just how like the impact of a father, because I ain't had mine, and he passed away when I was 11. So, and I think I'm like, if he was there, like how my life would have been totally different. But it probably would have impacted me in a negative way because the lifestyle he lived wasn't so positive.
What he said would happen was that.
Yeah.
Remember that, man? I am what I'm saying, but you know this shit too, bro. And like, and sometimes you just, like, we think even our past, bro, we can change our past.
I already know.
It's like, we just like what you say, like, you know, you say it's positive, then like, what's gonna happen with that? I say corn come from corn, you can't get corn. Plus the corn can't get apples unless you like some apples, you know what I'm saying? So the same thing, it's like, man, my dad was like, I'll be positive, so like, so that positive thought came like, you know what? My kids like gonna be always positive, you know what I'm saying? So like, I think we attract, encourage them, bless and hurt ourselves in ways that we nonchalantly subconsciously, not even like constantly doing shit. We non-conscious, you know what I'm saying? So like, I think like just being careful of our speech, bro, you know, because you're a special dude, man, you know what I'm saying? I think the time, like, it's finding a niche, finding your niche, finding like, you know, that audience, and it was really sincere, and what's sad is that one famous motherfucker. One famous motherfuckers. Hey man, check this out. Then niggas off the train. So it's like, I think you need some videos, man. You got an interesting life in Vegas. I need some videos. You got an interesting life like in the country. You from Gary? I'm from North Carolina.
Exactly.
So it's like we both get saw like, you know, getting videos and just like showing, you know, and even motherfucker out here down there studying and reading and writing poems and speaking raps and whatever, like, you know, just to have that actual document, you know what I'm saying? Because we know where this path, this journey is leading, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We're going to be a surprise for others, but just to be able to show them to have a document and be special, bro.
And that's 100% true. And what's crazy is I had the same conversation with my mom, but the way she said it wrong. And the way you said it was like absolutely, like I could resonate with it. Like I was able to accept your word, not only because of who you is, but like just the way you presented like just saying, yeah, we should document our journey. Like that's makes perfectly sense, like just for who we are. Like,
others, though, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Not just our monetary benefits, but for others to be able to, like, you know, have happiness.
Yeah.
Let them like that. Use some wisdom.
That's
just gain some wisdom. Like what I would say, it's not for my truth, it's not for my grace, my whatever that. I always want to help, man. God gonna want to help. I always want to love. God gonna want to love. You know what I'm saying? I always want to share it. God want to share it. Whatever you want to do, whoever you do, you think you are. So, like, I heard motherfuckers say, what are you thinking when you're just thinking? That's crazy, though. Niggas don't even know. A bill, a hoe, but money, but...
Yeah, I be thinking about, like, creating my future. I mean, not creating my future, but, like, just taking the proper steps, like, just to set my family straight for the next generation, like, and most people, when I be asking them, like, what you be thinking, they be like, I don't know. And I be like, how you not know what you thinking? Like, obviously it ain't that positive what you got in your mind, what you manifesting into your life. But me, I always consciously think, or at least I try to. Like, if I catch myself daydreaming or slipping, thinking thoughts that I ain't supposed to be thinking, I'm quick to check myself. And like, we all need to be like that to a sense, like to when a negative thought come in, like not just overthink it or just keep thinking on it, but just checking it right at the moment, checking it as soon as you realize, oh, I'm thinking negative, like let me stop thinking this, because that's how you manifest. Like that's how your world continues to be negative, like because you let these thoughts come. Like, and no matter how positive you are, no matter how positive I am, it's gonna always be a negative thought that try to slip in. Because there's people out there, that don't want us to succeed, and they send in all type of negative energy our way, and that comes in as thoughts sometimes, and they come in as like things that irritate in our day, or people like being more, what's the word I'm looking for? Ignorant. I'll just say that. Like I'll say, like people being more ignorant, like that stimulates from someone sending negative stuff to you, like hoping you fail, hoping you not successful, hoping you making the wrong step. So like present itself in all forms of fashion, but you got to just stay on your P's and Q's. You got to stay on your pivot. Like you can't let nobody like take what you built up for yourself. Us now, like me before, I didn't have this platform, so I was so reckless. Now I'm so, like you said, I gotta watch what I say. I gotta watch how I think, because we got people following us. There's people that's watching us, and it's a lot of haters. There's a lot of people that's waiting on us to mess up, but it's also way more people that want us to succeed, because they see us. I mean, they see themselves in us. So that as we continue to grow and we continue to prosper, they see themselves like, oh, I'm able to do this same thing. I'm able to prosper myself because I'm seeing him come from Gary or come from North Carolina and achieve our goals to the highest success. Like, and I will never stop until the day I die. I'm gonna never stop chasing my dreams and goals. I'm gonna never stop trying to evolve myself. I'm gonna never stop trying to heal myself, because no matter what, you're gonna always deal with something. Life gonna always throw something at you that's gonna make you feel down. It's gonna make you feel like, damn, why is this happening to me? But you gotta understand, like nothing's negative. Like everything's there for your benefit. It's there to bless you, whether it's you understand it or not. When we look back on 2020, it wasn't that bad. We all made it through. Yeah, they say a lot of people die, but that's normal when you think about the flu. How many people die from the flu every year? So like 2020 wasn't bad at all for me. Like, as a matter of fact, it was the year, like, 2019 was my bad year. And it wasn't even a bad year, but it was just a financially bad year. But 2020, it was like, dang, that was a great year for me. Like, but I did go through things. I did have my ups and downs. And that's going to never stop. As long as you're alive, you're going to have your ups and your downs. Now, it depends on where you are and you mentally, whether you view it as your down. Because when I say I'm on a roller coaster or a peak and valley in my life, like even my down moments, I'm happy. Like I'm happy I'm still here. I'm happy like, dang, I'm in this moment because I'm learning right now. Every time I see a challenge, like every time I realize I'm dealing with a challenge, I get happy out of nowhere. I'm like, even though I may not know what to do at the present moment, I know this is there to build me up. I know I'm going to take something from this to the future. And it's going to help me during whatever I go through. So I never truly get down. I may get angry here and there, but it all settles down once I like think positive or I think straight. Like, and I know I'm start rambling, but hey.
Change your mind, change your will, bro.
Exactly.
Like that, bro. And that's what you exercise, man. Like I told you before, like if you get 100 push-ups a day, and after a year, you would know a difference. You know different. Every day, just challenging yourself. I just like right now, I'm just thankful, man. Like I really see myself in a high position. I'm already in a high position. I'm still optimistic, helping myself because I feel like this is my gift. It's my gift to give to others, to help others like become better, and to help us become better.
And what I realize, a lot of people ain't like us when it comes like we want to help, we want to get a game. I used to think like everybody was like that, but I realized it's only a few people who really want to help others succeed. It's a few people who really want to help others up. Like a lot of NBA players, they don't got camps like Chris Paul because they don't want the new pros coming in and taking their spot. Like So they think like I watch them, I see what these new guys is creating, but I'm not about to extend no handout. It's only the few. It's the great people like you yourself. Like you helping the next generation become not only pros but gentlemen and women. Like women.
Like pro watching. Motherfucker like, oh, he white boy from the country. He ain't this and that.
Exactly.
Watch.
Right, I already see it. Like I be watching, I'm like, man, these kids is gonna be killers, and they ain't gonna even like the average black kid who they
like Canvas is gonna do nothing though, bro. It's beautiful. Like Canvas gonna do shit. Like it was like a dude last cross, they can't do none of this stuff. So it's like, oh wow, I get to create these 2K characters in real life.
And not only a 2K character, but like they having positive mindsets. Like you building positive, like minded children, not only children, but they gonna be our future like tomorrow. So like what you do, like that's a huge thing. Like I always commend you on like just I only like to deal with my kids.
I appreciate it, brother.
Because there's a lot of people who got influence over children and they leading them in the entirely wrong way. Like I ain't even no need to call nobody out, but it's people who literally got power over the next generation and they steering them the wrong way. And it's not their fault. It's they don't have the understanding of self. And they don't have the understanding like, of the power they hold in reality. Like, and there's a lot of rappers, there's a lot of actors, there's a lot of people out there in general, parents. Like they don't even realize the impact they have over their children. Because it was a long time I didn't. I thought every kid that I had, like they had their own personality. I mean, of course I knew they got stuff from me, but when I was in my 20s, I was not consciously thinking like I was now. Like I wasn't consciously thinking like, oh, my kids is learning from the time they're born. Like it ain't like they get to a certain age where they start picking up stuff. Like no, your kids is watching you from the time they born until the time they get out the house. Like they watching and they taking in everything. So
that's why I really started making music for my kids. Have some list to it's like positive, but like I got time here and all that bullcrap. But it's just making me mad. You know, my kids can say this. Just I ain't want to say it. They should say it. I just want to say it like drugs, sex, and just killing. It's too much for me.
And it's like literally it's leading kids the wrong way. So like we need music out there that's gonna motivate, not only motivate, but like build you up and help you get out the situation you in. Because a lot of people come from poverty and they don't think they can make it. The rappers don't tell them they can make it, and the rappers tell them like, "Hey, we ain't getting out here past 21." Hey, most of the time where I'm from here, like we make it past 21, but they don't make it to 30. Like it's a lot of my friends who I grew up with, they did not make it past 30, and that's whether they in prison or in the grave. Like so, I know me getting out and like succeeding in life is major positive. Like it's major, like not only for the people that's watching me, but like for my children. And they children, like, because spiritually, like, everybody's watching you. Like, whether your grandkids, the ones that's not even here yet, like, you got some spiritual babies that's watching you now. And they being influenced by you now. I know it sounds crazy, but if you tap into what I tap into, like, nothing is,
That's your truth, bro. Shit, I know that you know, I know it's true.
Yeah, like, I'm talking to the listeners by now. I mean, and the people who listen to my podcast, like, I'm not saying nothing new, so... Like, I'm just repeating myself at this moment. But still, like, we choose everything, and that's whether we deem it good or bad.
And you know, when you can choose, the Bible say now, choose this day. Choose this day.
Yeah.
Choose this day. Choose now to be different. Like, you know what I'm saying? But nah, bro, I get up, take this boy away, listen to more, man. I know we had to catch up with the episode, man. I love the knowledge, bro. I love speaking with you, man. You in Vegas, man. All with the hot curl on, man. All with the blown, man. We need to get this thing popping, man. We ain't doing it controversially. We doing it organically. This shit real. I'm gonna drop some more Oski before we get back on that next time. I'll let them know.
For sure.
I appreciate everything.
Hey, definitely. Thank you for coming again. Because, like I said, like, you the only person who's came on my podcast multiple times. Like, I usually talk to a person once and that be it. But, like, you know it's genuine when the person keeps coming back. Like, now we, like you said, we was talking about earlier, like, starting our own podcast. Well, we've been talking about it. But, like, now it's time to bring it into fruition. Because, like, I think people will love, like, I know people will love. I know people want this. Like, people love these type of conversations, so hey, this is just about the perfect timing.
Hey, let's get it, bro. You know I am. I'm procrastinate, man. I'm gonna participate, man. You know what I'm saying? And then we gonna elevate, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Let's get it, dog. I'll let me go, bro. I appreciate everything, man.
Alright, for sure, no problem. Talk to you later.
All
Alright, that was JamesOn Curry. I know y'all got, of course y'all know by now, but yeah, that was a great episode. Like, he literally just called me out the blue and like, yeah, like, we need to talk about some stuff. And I was like, okay, let's do it. It's 9:38 now p.m., so I'm about to drop this. So y'all probably won't see it till the morning, but hey, that's just how I am. I realize I'm gonna do things my way. Well, I've been realized that, but I realize I can't do it every Thursday or every Monday. I know that's what people want from me, but that's just not who I am. Like, I've tried, and honestly, it didn't work out for me. Like, I got burnt out from doing it actually in reality. So I have to do it in the way I do it because that's the way I do it. And it's like, I'm successful no matter what I do, no matter who hears this, no matter like how many people listen to it. In the end, like, I'm successful by still recording, still being dedicated to my podcast. So it's not about being consistent. For me, it's not about like posting every Monday or nothing like that. But like he did say, like, about being on camera more, like I said, my mom told me the same thing, but the way she said it, I took it disrespectfully. I ain't even gonna lie. But the way it brought more understanding. Like, a lot of times it's about how you say things. It's not what you say, but it's how you say it. But yeah, it's end of this podcast. Like I said, I'm about to drop it now, or once I finish editing, then I'm gonna just drop it. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Love you guys. Peace. We out.